There would be subsequent outbreaks of bubonic plague, but none would be quite so catastrophic as this initial pandemic. So, in this first outbreak, some of the earliest and hardest hit areas were the city states that acted as the trade epicenters of Europe. And again, this is quite familiar for us if we think about like how the COVID-19 pandemic ballooned from like a relatively localized outbreak in Wuhan, China, into a global phenomenon. So, first, between January and February 2020, the disease traveled to neighboring states like Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, and Thailand, which makes sense because, movement between these populations is pretty frequent. But as Professor of Geopolitics Ludwig Jian and others have argued, the way that COVID-19 then spread from populations that were obviously connected to populations that weren't obviously connected, in that they weren't physically close, was linked to patterns of economic globalization. So when they physically mapped the spread of the pandemic over the first 4 months of 2020, they saw that all the countries that were most directly linked to China economically, mainly rich countries in the global north, were the first to see a rapid rise in cases of COVID-19. And that makes a lot of sense, right? Because if there are economic links between two countries, it means that there will be a flow of goods and people between those two countries that make up those economic links.